رياض يا الطاش يا المعنا خط بكتابك الترحيب لو سرابك ليلك وجنة بالدجا في الليل تسري.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, today is our weekly class, Matters of the Heart, Al-Raqa'iq. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala soften our hearts. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala purify our hearts, and may Allah fill our hearts with the Iman and Taqwa. Ameen. And we are talking about the Iman, my dear brothers and sisters, and how can we strengthen our Iman? Because that is the most important thing in the life of the Muslim, to have strong Iman. Without strong Iman, we will not be able, after Allah's help and grace, to resist all the temptations and bear the hardships, the adversities. So Iman is very crucial in the life of the Muslim. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He promised the pleasant life for the believers. He created the Jannah for the believers. And He created us only also to believe in Him. Glory be to Him. So we've been going through some of tips that inshallah will help. And today we continue, inshallah. Among the things, inshallah, by Allah's grace, that will strengthen one's Iman is to love the believers. Loving the mu'mineen. من أحب في الله وأعطى في الله ومنع في الله فقد استكمل الإيمان. The Prophet ﷺ said. So whoever loves for the sake of Allah, gives for the sake of Allah, withholds for the sake of Allah, then he has achieved and gained the perfect Iman. You believe for the sake of Allah. You hate for the sake of Allah. You give for the sake of Allah. You withhold for the sake of Allah. Then you have completed the ranks and the shu'ab of the Iman. So loving the believers, your brothers in Islam, wherever they are, as long as they are within the fold of Islam, every Muslim is your brother. As long as he is within the fold of Islam, he's a Muslim. So he has rights over you. And you need to help him, and you need to support him when he's in need. So the brotherhood among the Muslims is so the bonds should be very strong. As you know, the Prophet ﷺ, he gave that parable. He said the the likeness of the brotherhood among the Muslims, just like this body you have. When any organ is in agony, the rest of the organs and the rest of the parts, they are in agony and they are in pain, like that particular organ. So if you are a true Muslim, a true believer, so wherever Muslims are suffering, you feel for them. You feel for them. I read in about Sheikh Muhammad Rashid Rida, rahimahullah, that whenever his mother saw him sad, she would immediately ask her son what happened to the Muslims, because she brought up that child to feel for his ummah. So when she would see her son in a sad mood, she would immediately ask her son, what happened to the Muslims? Subhanallah. Today, Muslims are scattered, are slaughtered, massacred, killed, oppressed, persecuted. Do you feel for your brothers and sisters? Or you are sitting in front of the television, and you are seeing the news and you are enjoying your sweet. You are enjoying your sweet while you are seeing what is happening to your brothers and sisters, and it doesn't move you. Then there is something wrong with your iman. Because imagine this body, this part is in pain, and the rest they don't feel of it. They don't feel of that organ. If you are a true part of the ummah, you will feel for your brothers and sisters. Because this ummah is one unit. Ummah wahida. إنما المؤمنون إخوة. Verily, believers are brothers. Even if they fight each other, they remain brothers. وإن طائفتان من المؤمنين اقتتلوا فأصلحوا بينهما. من المؤمنين. مؤمنين. Allah called them mu'mineen in spite of the fight. Yes, they are killing each other, but they are still mu'mineen. And they are still brothers. So we have to think of maintaining the ties of brotherhood among ourselves as Muslims, loving each other, take care of each other, advising each other, educating each other. We should not let the shaitan to sneak through us and come in between and sever the ties among us. We should not allow the shaitan to do that. But that is what the shaitan wants. إن الشيطان قد يئس أن يعبده المصلون في جزيرة العرب ولكن رضي بالتحريش بينهم. So at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, Satan despaired. He had that sad moment when he saw the Arab tribes are becoming Muslims and people are entering into Islam in great multitudes. But because he is a pure evil, he tried to allay his fears and console himself by saying, okay, never mind. Even if they don't worship me, I will not give up. I will work around the clock I will do my best by creating hatred among themselves, making them dislike each other, hate one another. So you should not give your enemy this chance. To divide you as brothers and sisters. So we should have this love for each other, care for each other, rahmah for each other. As Sheikh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, he mentioned about Ahl al-Sunnah. He said, Ahl al-Sunnati ya'rifuna al-haqqa wa yarhamuna al-khalq. People of Sunnah, they know the truth and they are upon the truth, but at the same time, yarhamuna al-khalq. Their hearts are full of rahmah, mercy towards mankind. And they wish that all people be guided and enter the Jannah. Because the Jannah is so vast, it will accommodate all of us. And the Prophet ﷺ, he would pray the whole night crying for the disbelievers, his people, asking Allah to guide them, in spite of all what they did to him. And you know, when he went to Taif and what they did to him, and Allah sent two angels, one who was in charge of the mountains, and he was told, if you want me, I will collapse these two huge mountains on top of their heads. He said, no, I don't want that. I hope that Allah will bring from their loins, from their backs, from their fathers, offspring who will worship Allah. Who will worship Allah. So Ahl Sunnah, they have rahmah in their hearts. Sayyidina Umar bin Khattab, radiallahu anhu, when he was going to Jerusalem, he passed by a hermit, a monk, taking ablution to pray. He said, Amilatun Nasiba, what a hard worker, and all his deeds are in vain because of the blasphemy, because of the false belief he holds in his heart. Then he wept. Sayyidina Umar cried. Why did he cry? He cried because he felt pity for this guy. Because the people of Al-Sunnah, their hearts are full of rahmah. Same thing, I think Abu Darda or Abu Umama, one of them, when he entered Damascus and he saw many heads are put in a string and they were suspended on two poles. He asked, whose heads are these? Were these? So he was told these are the heads of the Khawarij. So he said, شَرُّ قَتْلَ تَحْتَ أَدِيمِ السَّمَاءِ. The worst killed men, O people, under the canopy of the sky, the dogs of the hellfire. After that he cried. So he was asked, why did you cry? He said, I remembered that they are from the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are Muslims. Khawarij are not disbelievers. Khawarij are not kuffar. Yes, they went astray, that's true. But this doesn't mean that they were disbelievers. That's why Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu was asked about them. أَكُفَّارٌ هُمْ قَالَ مِنَ الْكُفْرِ فَرُّوا. They fled from the kufr. أَمُنَافِقُونَ هُمْ. Are they hypocrites? He said, إِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ لَا يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا وَهَؤُلَاءِ لَا تَفْتُرُ أَلْسِنَتُهُمْ عَنْ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. Said, he was asked, are they hypocrites? He said, no. The hypocrites, they hardly mention Allah. And those people, those men, their tongues are all the time engaged in the dhikr of Allah. So he was asked, who are they? He said, our brothers. They transgressed and they wronged us unjustly. That's it. So that's why the Sahabi cried, because they are Muslims. And even all these sects that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, that they will go to the hellfire, that doesn't mean that they are kuffar or disbelievers. No. Doesn't mean that. Yes, they will be punished, but then they will come out from the hellfire. All these deviant sects, they didn't have special graveyard. They were buried with the Muslims. And their children, they inherited them according to the Sharia, and their wives went through the waiting period, etc. Because they are Muslims. They are Muslims. If a Muslim kills himself, he's a Muslim. We cannot say he's a kafir. He's a Muslim. Because the one who killed himself at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Sallu ala sahibukum. Yes, he didn't pray, he did attend the funeral prayer as a punishment for him, but he allowed the Muslims to conduct janazah prayer, which means he was not kafir, he was a Muslim, though he killed himself. So these things you have to keep in mind, my dear brothers and sisters. So love your brothers and sisters. Love the Muslims. And on the other side, you need to hate the disbelief, the kufr, and those who hide and conceal the truth, the concealers of truth. Because that's the meaning of kafir. Someone who is hiding, kafiring. Kufr is like kufr. You kufr it in English. So the kafir, someone who's concealing, hiding the truth. He's hiding it. Because the belief is there in the heart of every human being, the fitrah, that natural disposition. It's there. But then you try to cover it. You hide it. And then when you are in trouble, this one who we call kafir, one who is covering the truth, when he's in trouble, that cover will be removed and the fitrah will come out. If you bring any atheist and throw him from high building or an airplane, he will not say there is no God. No, he will be screaming, oh my God. That's what he will do. But the fitrah will come out. Because now the cover is removed. Long time ago, I read about a paratrooper who was a communist, thinking during the Second World War, and he jumped and the parachute didn't open, and he started shouting, oh my God, oh my God. Throughout his life, no God, no God. Now, okay, he's dying, he started shouting, oh my God. And the parachute opened. And that's what he wrote in his memoir. So those who hide the truth, they know the truth. They know it, but they are hiding it. That's why Allah hates them. Because they are covering the truth. That's why he called them kuffar. They are concealers of the truth. Concealers of the truth. And here I would like to draw your attention to an important issue, and that is, which is the cream and the core and the heart of the belief, that you love Allah Azza wa Jal, and you love whatever Allah loves, and you hate whatever Allah hates. That is called Qanun al-Hub. Qanun al-Hub, the law of love. You love what your beloved one loves. If you love your wife, you will love what she likes, what she loves, because you love your wife. And that is the law of love. Because this is what your wife loves, you love it. She loves this perfume, so you love it. So you will not wear perfume that will give her a headache because she doesn't like that perfume. Because you love your wife. This is the law of love. When you love someone, you love whatever that one loves. As long, of course, it is not haram, definitely. When our beloved Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, Aisha and Hafsa agreed among themselves to tell him whenever he comes to one of them, oh, there's an unpleasant smell, because he used to take honey in the house of Maria. So immediately the Prophet ﷺ innocently said, no, this is honey I had in Maria's house, and I'm not going to take it again. See how he felt for his wives. I'm not going to take this honey again. If you don't like its smell, though it is honey, nice. Because he didn't want to do something that will make his beloved one, his wife, unpleasant or uncomfortable with it. So much so that Allah himself, blamed his Prophet for this. Why, O Prophet, you prohibit something? Allah made it lawful for you. تَبْتَغِي مَرْضَاتِ أَزْوَاجِكَ, seeking by that the pleasure of your wives. So this is the law of love, my dear brothers and sisters. When you love something, you love what that beloved one loves. So now your beloved one is Allah. So you love what Allah loves, and you hate what Allah hates. Very simple. This thing, Allah doesn't love it, doesn't like it, leave it. Don't do it. Something, say subhanallah. Many Muslims nowadays, due to the weakness of Iman, naturally, they treat the makruh like halal. Makruh like halal. That's how they perceive it. That's how they consider it. Oh, it is only makruh, which means it is halal. I can't do it. Makruh means dislike. Disliked by whom? Who dislikes it? Allah. So if Allah dislikes it, why do you do something He dislikes it? You love Allah? Yes. But the love you have is not the love that's supposed to be. Because if there is true love, you will love what your beloved one loves and dislike what your beloved one dislikes and hate what your beloved one hates. Something Allah dislikes it. Stay away from it. That's the meaning of the makruh. When the ulama, they categorize the ruling of the Sharia, haram, makruh, fard, sunnah, halal, they are telling you when they define the makruh, it is highly recommended to avoid it. Stay away from it. Stay away from it. Sayyidina Umar used to say, we leave great number of halal items. We know they are halal. We don't consume all the halal. You remember the hadith of the three, the halal and the haram and gray area. So there are three circles. So the Sahaba, they are in the halal circle. So they will not be in the middle of the halal circle. They will be at the end of it. So there is a big area of halal in front of them, which means there is no chance for them to fall into the gray area. But we today, we finished the halal, consumed it, entered to the gray area and consumed it, and we are on the verge of entering the haram. Okay. Why? Sahaba are far away from the gray area, and we are almost finishing the gray area, because we consider gray area shubuhat halal, 100% halal. That's how we perceive the shubuhat or umur mutashabihat, similar matters or doubtful matters. When the Prophet ﷺ, he said, دع ما يريبك إلى ما لا يريبك. Leave what you doubt to that which you don't doubt. How many of us, they apply this hadith in their life? Leave what you doubt to that which you don't doubt. If you follow this hadith, matters that are doubtful, you stay away from them. You will be always in a situation of win-win, because you are far away from the doubtful matters. My Sheikh, Hafidahullah, Sheikh Mahmoud Atiyah, he taught us, said, very simple 5 rulings of the Sharia, and a layman can follow this. Haram, makruh, stay away from it. You find 2 ulama, 2 scholars, one saying haram, one saying makruh, which means, okay, needs to be avoided. Fard, sunnah, do it. 2 scholars, one is saying niqab is fard, another one is saying niqab is sunnah, do it, my dear sisters. Win-win. You're not going to lose anything. If it is sunnah, you are rewarded, and if it is fard, you are rewarded. So you're not losing anything. And even the one who's saying niqab is sunnah, that the Prophet ﷺ, he approved of it, sunnah taqririyah, because the women, they were covering their faces. And that's why he said, لا تنتقب المحرمة ولا تلبس القفازين. A woman who's in state of ihram does not wear the niqab, neither the niqab nor gloves, which means before the ihram, she was wearing the niqab and gloves. So that's how the Sahabiyat were, wearing niqab and gloves. In the Hajj, a woman should not wear the niqab, but she can draw down the veil over her face. As our mother Aisha said, in the Hajj, when men pass in front of us, we draw down our veils over our faces. So even the one who's saying the niqab is sunnah, he will not blame a sister who covers her face. He will not blame her, because barakallah fiqh, jazakallah khair. And even those who are considered the niqab is sunnah, they're saying if she's beautiful, then it becomes fard for her to cover her face. She's beautiful, because she will be a source of temptation, fitna. So remember this very simple rule, as you are a lay person. Very simple. Haram, makruh, I want to be on the safe side. What should I do? Stay away from it. Fard sunnah, I will do it. Win-win. In both cases, win-win. And then you have the halal or mubah. You can take your dinner or you can skip it. No issue, no problem. Okay. So here, this issue we have, which is the law of love. You love what your beloved one loves, and you hate what your beloved one hates. So love the believers and hate the disbelief and the concealers of truth. Allah is saying, لا تجد قوما يؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر. You will never find people who believe in Allah on the last day. يوادون من حد الله ورسوله. That they reciprocate love with those who oppose and resist and contend with Allah and His Messenger, even if they are their fathers or their relatives or their children, because Allah has written the Iman in their hearts. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here, is telling us in this regard in Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayah 55, telling us who are the ones that we should take as awliya, as intimate friends and close allies. إنما وليكم الله ورسوله والذين آمنوا الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, verily your wali, protector or helper, is Allah, His messenger, and the believers, those who offer prayer perfectly and give zakah and they bow down. Now, let us reflect on this beautiful ayah. Innama, remember, kafah and makfufa. Innama, kafah and makfufa. Inna is harf nasb, nasikh. تنصب المبتدا وترفع الخبر. It makes the مبتدا منصوب and the خبر مرفوع. The mubtada is the subject and the khabar is the predicate. And that's how it functions. But if it is joined with ma cancels its function. It cancels the function of inna. That's why it's called kaffa and makfufa. The kaffa is ma that stops the function of inna, and inna became ineffective. Doesn't function. So when inna followed with ma, they call it kaffa and makfufa, and it denotes and indicates al-hasr, tufidu al-hasr, which means it limits the meaning to whatever is mentioned after it. It confines the meaning to whatever mentioned after it. Like in the hadith, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Okay? That's why al-a'malu mubtada marfu'. It's a mubtada. And marfu' dhamma is there. Because inna is not functioning. Remove ma and how you will read if there is no ma. Inna al-a'mala bin-niyat, it will be. But because there is ma, so it's not functioning. Innama al-a'malu bin-niyat. So the rhetorical function of this device, innama, is that it confines the meaning, limits the meaning. Tufidul hasr. Innama al-a'malu bin-niyat. All actions, all deeds will be judged according to one's intention. So similarly here, Allah is saying, Innama. Okay, so now I should be aware whenever I come across Innama. Waliyukum. So your wali, your only wali that you should count on, rely upon, depend upon Allah. That is my wali. الله ولي الذين آمنوا يخرجهم من الظلمات إلى النور. Allah is the wali of those who believe. He brings them out of the darkness of disbelief into the light of Iman. And he said, min al-dhulumat, from the different types of darkness into the light of Iman. إنما وليكم الله. Okay. The wali is from walaya, yali. That means when someone is close to you. So the one who is close to you, and the one who is protecting you, and the one who is close to you to help you. Allah yudafi'u 'anil ladina amanu. Allah is your defender. Allah is the one who defends you. So he's your wali. وَرَسُولُهُ, that your loyalty, okay, is to the Prophet ﷺ, to the deen of Islam. You're loyal to this deen. You follow the Prophet ﷺ and follow his footsteps. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he mentioned the awliya of Allah, Allah's friends, he said, من عاد, hadith Qudsi, sacred hadith, من عاد لي وليا فقد آذنته بالحرب. He who hates or harms, okay, or wrongs any of my awliya, then I wage war against him. Because Allah defends his awliya. Allah defends his friends, those whom he made closer to him. Awliya, very close to Allah, Allah's allies. Of course, English language is so deficient, and all other languages are deficient to convey the exact meaning of the Arabic words. So Allah wages war against those who fight Allah's awliya. And who are Allah's awliya? Allah said, أَلَا إِنَّ أَوْلِيَاءَ اللَّهِ لَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. Allah's awliya, they will not fear on the day or grieve on that day. So they will never be frightened, nor that they will grieve on the day of resurrection. Who are they? الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, those who believe. وَكَانُوا يَتَّقُونَ, and they were righteous, and they were doing righteous deeds. That's why the ulama, they say, مَنْ كَانَ مُؤْمِنًا تَقِيًّا كَانَ لِلَّهِ وَلِيًّا. مَنْ كَانَ مُؤْمِنًا تَقِيًّا كَانَ لِلَّهِ وَلِيًّا. So whoever is pious, righteous, then he is one of Allah's awliya. Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah said, Al-ulama hum awliya'ullahi. Al-ulama hum awliya'ullah. إن لم يكن العلماء أولياء الله فلا أعلم لله وليا. So Imam Shafi'i said, scholars are Allah's awliya. And if the scholars are not Allah's awliya, then I don't know any wali of Allah. So those who are fighting the scholars and students of knowledge and the ulama, they are fighting Allah's awliya. Unfortunately, the definition of wali in the minds of many Muslims is the wali is that one who has a tomb, mausoleum, darih. If you go to any Muslim countries where there are these tombs, in the airport you ask the chauffeur, the driver, I want to visit a wali. He say yes, he will take you to one of these tombs or graves. As if no one of Allah's awliya on earth, all they are under, already buried. So the ulama are the awliya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The wali is not the one who flies in the sky or walk on the water, okay, or enters the fire or sits on glowing ambers. No, that's not the wali. That's why Imam Shafi'i said, إذا رأيتم الرجل يطير في الهواء أو يمشي على الماء فلا تصدقوه حتى تعرضوه على الكتاب والسنة. If you see a man flying in the air, walking on the water, don't believe him until you check him against the Kitab and Sunnah. Sheikh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, when he wrote his book Al-Furqan bayna awliya al-Rahman wa awliya al-Shaytan, the reason behind it, there was a man who would jump from the top of the mountain of Gassion in Damascus, and people would see him flying in the air, landed at the foot of the mountain unhurt. So they would say, he's one of Allah's awliya. He said, no, he's one of Shaitan's awliya. That's why he wrote his book, and I recommend you, students of knowledge, to read it. It is there in English. Al-Furqan, the criterion between Allah's friends and the devil's friends. Allah's allies and the devil's allies. But the shayateen, they carry him. As the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in the authentic hadith in Sunan Sa'id ibn Mansur. الجن ثلاثة أصناف قسم يطير وقسم على شكل حيات وكلاب وقسم يضعنون ويقيمون معكم. So the jinn are three types. So one type of the jinn, they fly. So this type of jinn, they fly, they carry this person. After, of course, he left Islam, because they make a deal with him. The moment he becomes disbeliever, kafir, then they help him and they carry him. So if you hear many of those deviant sects and saying, oh, our Sheikh, he prays all the 5 prayers in Mecca or Hajj, and people, they see him there, the shayateen, they carry them. And the Sheikh al-Islam mentioned in his fatwa many stories of those who deal with the jinn. Once the shaitan came to the students of Ibn Taymiyyah and to also other people. And though he was jailed in Egypt, and he talked to them, reminded them. So when he was released, they told him, he said, no, that was shaitan came to you. Shaitan. So, إِنَّمَا وَلِيُّكُمُ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. So your wali, the one who's your protector, you count upon, is Allah, his messenger. So, al-wala, there is something called wala and bara. And this is nowadays, no one wants to talk about it. Al-wala wal-bara. Okay? Wala, loyalty to Allah's deen. to Islam, to the Quran, to the Sunnah, to the believers. You're wala. You're loyal to these things. And bara, renouncing the disbelief and the disbelievers. Because you love what your beloved one loves, and when your beloved one loves you too, to love the believers and love the belief, and hate the kufr, the disbelief, and the concealers of truth. Okay, the wala and bara. That's the meaning of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. That's the meaning of it. That's the meaning of the negation in the kalima when you say La ilaha, negation. This is bara. You reject and you renounce the false deities. You renounce them. You disbelieve in every object of worship that is worshipped besides Allah. That's the meaning of that negation, the significance of the negation there. La ilaha. Then you affirm illallah. Okay? So my belief, my loyalty only to Allah, my worship only to Allah. He is the one who deserves to be worshipped. Others, I disbelieve in them, and I renounce them, and I make bara, and I reject them. How many Muslims do they know this? How much of wala and bara is there in your life? How much wala and bara in your life? When Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu came to know that Sayyidina Abu Musa al-Ash'ari has recruited a writer, employed a writer, non-Muslims, he sent him a strong letter. ما لك قاتلك الله ما لك قاتلك الله أما وجدت كاتبا حنيفا. What's wrong with you? May Allah kill you. That's what Sayyidina Umar wrote. Didn't you find a Muslim writer, Hanifan, a monotheist? When Abu Musa radiallahu anhu said, I have nothing to do with his belief, only I recruited him for his skill there, for his writing. Sayyidina Umar told him, لا تدنيهم إذ أقصاهم الله. Don't bring them closer to you when Allah made them stay far and distant from you. ولا تؤمنهم إذ خونهم الله. And do not trust them when Allah said they are not trustworthy. Hey, this is what is happening. The wala and bara is removed. So much so you feel today some of the callers, the dua, that issue of wala and bara is not there. Diluted. The issue of wala and bara. When the Prophet ﷺ said, من قال لمنافق يا سيد فقد أغضب الله. If you call a hypocrite pretends to be a Muslim. Sir, oh master, you makes Allah angry. Hello? Are you with me? Are you there? If you call a hypocrite master, you make Allah angry. How about calling 100% disbeliever master? You make Allah happy, right? Allah understand. The wala and bara, my dear brothers and sisters. See Sayyidina Umar. He drafted very strong letter blaming his governor, Abu Musa. Didn't you find a Muslim writer? Or when the Prophet ﷺ said, لا يجتمع دينان في جزيرة العرب. No two deen religion should exist in Arabia. Because this is the cradle of Al-Islam. Sacred land. إنما وليكم الله ورسوله الذين آمنوا. The believers are your awliya. You should remain loyal to your brothers, sisters, loyal to your ummah, to the Muslims. الذين يقيمون الصلاة. These are the true mu'min. Those who establish the salah, perform the salah. Because the one who doesn't perform the salah, Allah musta'an, is kafir. Is kafir. The Prophet ﷺ said, العهد الذي بيننا وبينهم الصلاة فمن تركها فقد كفر. Dividing line between Islam and apostasy is salah. Whoever leaves it, he has committed kufr. بين الشرك والكفر ترك الصلاة. What separates you from the kufr and shirk is the salah. You leave the salah, what was left? ما سلككم في سقر قالوا لم نكن من المصلين. The malaika, they rebuke, okay, and they blame and they ask the inhabitants in hellfire sarcastically, ما سلككم في سقر? What brought you into saqar, the hellfire? قالوا لم نكن من المصلين, because we were not praying. Allah promised severe punishment for those who delay their prayers, though they pray, but they delay. وَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. Those who delay their prayers. Though they pray, but they delay them. Imagine the one who doesn't pray. That's why the Prophet ﷺ, the last words he was uttering before the Shahada, he was saying, As-salatu as-salah wa ma malakat aymanukum. As-salah, as-salah, your prayers, your prayers. And what your right hand possess, that means the slaves. So he was reminding the Muslims about two things, about the salah and taking care and treating the slaves kindly and mercifully. So that is the importance of the salah. مروا أولادكم بالصلاة وهم أبناء السبع واضربوهم عليها وهم أبناء عشر وفرقوا بينهم في المضاجع. So command your children to pray at the age of 7. Then smack them, discipline them, beat them if they don't pray at the age of 10. And separate them, do not allow them to sleep together, boys and girls. So a child from 7 to 15, 8 years, is regular praying, then finish. Salah is part of his life. But many Muslims, parents, they don't do that. Oh, he's still young. The father wants to wake up the child to take him to the masjid. The mother jumps in. Haram. It is cold. Leave him, miskin. Don't become extremist. Okay? Let him sleep. And now the child reaching the age of puberty, and the parents, they're asking him to pray. He said, okay. Or he will tell them, no, I don't want to pray. And they start crying, our son doesn't pray. You deserve that. And you will be held accountable before Allah. Because you lost the trust that Allah has given you. And you are accountable, and you'll be called for accountability. Because that child was amana, a trust. You betrayed the trust. You betrayed it. Allah entrusted you. You proved that you are not trustworthy. So, my dear brothers and sisters, take care of your children about the salah. Don't treat the salah lightly. Also, salah is the priority number one in the list. Time for salah, finish. Everything ceases. Our meetings in business should be not conducted at the timings of prayers. You are in a meeting, sorry, I have to leave. Time for salah. So, عظموا قدر الصلاة. Al-Murwazi wrote massive works, تعظيم قدر الصلاة, Imam Al-Murwazi رحمه الله. Salah. Someone who doesn't pray, don't accept him as your husband. Even if you are advanced in age and you are so desperate, don't accept him. Maybe your parents will try to pressurize you. Accept him. Allah will give him hidayah. You work on him. Don't listen to that. Don't accept him. Tell them, my Prophet said he is not a Muslim. My Prophet said he's a kafir. I will not accept him. Same thing. He's so, mashallah, very beautiful. She doesn't pray. Say, sorry, she is not my cup of tea. She is not my cup of tea. She doesn't pray. I don't want her. Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, when his wife died, those close to him, they proposed to him that there are two girls, two sisters. One of them, she lost one eye, or she is one-eyed. And the other one, she's okay, she's fine, and she's more beautiful than that one. He asked, which one is more righteous? Which one is more pious? They said, the one who has only one eye. He said, that is the one I need. I want to marry. And he did. Imam Ahmad rahimahullah. الذين يقيمون الصلاة. So those are the mu'mineen. Okay. And Allah will grant us victory only if we are establishing the salah. We are establishing the salah, then and only then the victory will be granted to us. And that's why the salah can never be missed. There are different types of salah. Salah of fear, different scenarios, and even when you are in the eye of the battlefield, fighting, killing each other with the swords, you are engaged in the salah. Engaged in the salah. You don't leave the salah. If you are sick, you pray in whatever position is more comfortable for you. You don't leave the salah even if you don't have water or no sand, no earth. فاقد الطهورين, the ulama, they discuss this, the fuqaha in their books. They say, you pray, but don't miss your prayers. الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة, and they give the zakah. This zakah, which the solution for the poverty, and that's how Islam addressed the issue of poverty through the zakah. And during the reign of Sayyidina Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, they didn't find anyone who was eligible for zakah. And the one who doesn't give the zakah, he will be forced to give the zakah. And the Sahaba unanimously agreed upon fighting Banu Hanifa and considered them apostates when they refused to give the zakah. Banu Hanifa, the tribe of Musaylama al-Kadhab in Yamama, which is Riyadh today. So the Sahaba, they fought Banu Hanifa and brought them back to Islam because of zakah. So if someone doesn't give the zakah, the state can take the zakah by force from him. وَيْتُونَ الزَّكَاةَ وَهُمْ رَاكِعُونَ. They are engaged and in the salah, and they are always in this ruku', which is the part of the salah. وَهُمْ رَاكِعُونَ. Though you will come maybe across in some of the books, tafsir, that وَهُمْ رَاكِعُونَ, this refers to Ali, who gave zakah while he was in ruku', gave his finger ring. That's not true. Okay, وَيْتُونَ الزَّكَاةَ وَهُمْ رَاكِعُونَ. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strengthen our iman and your iman, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strengthen the ties of love between us Muslims and make us love each other, respect each other, advise each other, guide each other. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us our faults and mistakes and ignorance, and may Allah bless us with the beneficial knowledge and righteous deeds, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide our ummah and unite our ummah in the haqq, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unite our hearts in the haqq. And may Allah reward all of you, my dear brothers and sisters, immensely for your patience and attendance. Barakallah feekum, jazakum Allah khayra. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ameen wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakum Allahu khair, Sheikh, for our lessons in our Sunday class, the Matters of the Heart session. For those of you who are watching, I just wanted to quickly mention that for this Matters of the Heart series number 2 and Matters of the Heart series number 1, along with the Fundamentals of Tawheed series, you can find all 3 of these compiled in their own dedicated playlists on the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to find all of the episodes for all 3 of them compiled there in order, inshallah. So if you have missed any lessons, or if you would like to rewatch any lessons that you may have forgotten, etc., or that you would like to catch up on, then you can go do that very easily there on the playlists. Also wanted to mention that if you're not in the WhatsApp group chat, you can join by texting the Fitrah phone, and someone will be able to add you in. This is where you'll be notified of any plans or times changing, and where we will also have our Q&A session, or you can ask your questions in the YouTube live chat, and someone will forward the messages through, inshallah. Sheikh, our first question for today is asking, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
What is the ruling on going to the janaza of a Shia Muslim or a Muslim of any other orientation? Is it permissible to, for example, stand in the prayer or take part in any other of the rituals? And finally, just what is the correct manner to pay condolences to a friend that is Shia on the passing of their family members? Jazakumullah khair.
Alhamdulillah. Before I answer this question, the question is that janazah prayer will be conducted on every Muslim, any Muslim, as long as he is within the fold of Islam. This is rule number one. The question, do you consider him Muslim or non-Muslim? If he's non-Muslim, no janazah, you don't participate. He's a Muslim, then you can pray the janazah and make dua for him. Okay? This should be clear in the mind of every Muslim. Every Muslim, this should be clear in his mind or her mind. He's a Muslim, then we conduct janazah prayer, we bury him in the graveyard of the Muslims, and his children will inherit, and his wife will go through the iddah, waiting period, etc. Okay? So these deviant groups among the Muslims, that they will not consider them as disbelievers and kuffar. Now, when it comes to the Rafidah, okay, Ahl Sunnah, they differentiate between their ulama, their scholars, and the layman. The layman is a Muslim, miskeen, misled, brainwashed. That's how Ahl Sunnah treat the layman. The problem with their scholars, who they know the truth and they are misleading the masses, and they are the ones who are saying this Quran is incomplete, okay? And the complete Quran is with the Mus'haf Fatima still in that tunnel, okay, Sardab, with the Mahdi, okay, who has been hidden for all this time. So the Quran we have is not perfect, it's not complete. Okay. Alhamdulillah, some of their learned men now, scholars, started to wake up. And it's there, you can hear that they are saying that there are things there we are saying which are unacceptable. Unacceptable. And they talk good things about the Sahaba, etc., about the wives of the Prophet ﷺ, and one of them is under home arrest because they didn't like what he's saying. So the lay person is a Muslim. He's a Muslim. Yes, if he's one of their scholars, their ulama, and who is really deviant, and then I will not go and attend his prayer, janazah prayer, even if I don't consider him as a kafir, but as, a sign or gesture that he was deviant. He was deviant. Okay. But there are some sects, for example, Ahmadi, Qadianis, they're not Muslims in the first place. So if he's one from those Qadianis, then they're not Muslims. Because they are saying that Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani is a prophet. So, or if he is from the Nation of Islam in America, who are saying that Elijah Muhammad was a prophet. So anyone says that, he's not a Muslim. Even if he prays and fasts, he's not a Muslim. I hope this is clear to the questioner.
Jazakumullahu khair. The next, just one final question on this part was the correct manner to pay condolences to a friend that is Shia upon the passing of their family members.
Yes, as I mentioned, we consider him a Muslim, so you say, Azzam Allah ajrukum, may Allah multiply your reward, may Allah give you the sabr, things like that. Okay, if it is allowed to give condolences to a non-Muslim, let's say my neighbor is a Christian and his father or his mother or his son, so I will go and give condolences in the sense that to allay and console his soul by saying, of course, I will not ask for forgiveness because we know that we don't make dua for the kuffar, but nice words just to console him, to make him feel okay, comfortable, and to allay his sadness and reduce his sadness and his sorrow. Next.
Jazakum Allahu khair. The next question is, I know that it is said the souls will meet in Barzakh. Does this include regular people like us being able to visit the souls of the prophets in Barzakh as well?
We see when it comes to ghaib, we should not speculate. We should not know anyone who says anything about the ghaib unseen without clear-cut evidence. He is speculating, and we will not accept anything like that. But if something mentioned, yes. For example, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in one hadith that the souls, they meet in the Jannah. They meet. Okay? And when a new soul arrives, these souls there already, they receive this soul, and they start asking this soul who just arrived from dunya. And they would ask about people they know. And they will ask about someone who died before this one. How is so-and-so? And this new soul that arrived will tell them, didn't he arrive? Didn't he come? So, oh, ذهب إلى أمه الهاوية. No, he didn't make it to Jannah. His soul was taken to Sijin. So from that hadith, yes, the souls, they meet. And we just have to limit our knowledge to what is mentioned in the hadith. Next.
Jazakum Allahu khair. I'm just checking. I believe there was a question that was sent privately because it was a bit long. I'm not sure if that one has been answered yet. The question on the mahram rule on travel.
I don't like long questions. I like sweet one, short one, to the point.
Alhamdulillah. I think that's it. I'm not seeing any more questions, so I think we can end it here today, inshallah.
Inshallah, barakallahu feekum, jazakumullah khair. May Allah bless you, bless your family, protect you, protect your family. May Allah elevate your status in this world and in Jannat al-Na'im. Ameen. Until we meet, inshallah, in the coming session, I leave you in Allah's company and protection. Fi hifdhillahi wa ra'ayatihi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ameen wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.